So yeah, feel like it's a good strategy and off to a good start at least.
Well, it sounds like you've conquered the perfect is the enemy of getting started.
Yeah.
Right. There's a lot of pithy, perfect is the enemy of, and fill in the blank, good, good enough, great. But I found it's actually putting it in terms of the paralysis of needing to be perfect before you do anything
Yeah.
is
Well,
the
it's
most
like
powerful for me.
you and I both can understand that logically, rationally. But the application of that is still going to present some, I don't know, some emotions around it. We're going to get caught up in it invariably with something.
Right.
So,
And we talked about this, I think, in a previous chat with you, me and Paul, about perfection being, definitionally unattainable, but the process and the pursuit of it is still key to achieving excellence. I've had this conversation with my kids when they're upset that they're not immediately proficient, even let alone perfect at something brand new. And I just have to stop them and say, okay, you're good at a lot of things, right? Yes. Okay, how many of them were you great at when you started? And most of the time they're like, well, maybe one, but even then I'm better at that than I was when I started, even if I kind of took to it like a duck to water. And pretty much everything else I've tried, I stunk when I first did it.
yeah.
Okay, so why is this one any different? It's not, I just wish I were better. Okay, well, let that wish drive you, right? Because that motivation and desire to want to be good at something is probably the first prerequisite to bother. Because if you hate it, you're probably not going to stick with it long enough to get any damn good at it. But
Yeah.
perfect is always going to be that carrot in front of the donkey that it never gets.
Yeah. It bothers me when you have these people who've experienced a lot of financial success, wealth success, and then they want to start telling everyone how to do it. And maybe most of those people are just trying to capitalize on whatever it is. And there's some that I think probably really try to do a good job. They get a sense of purpose for it. And they really are saying, hey, here's my story. Here's it was hard. I sucked a whole bunch of whatever it is, and here's sort of the moral of the story. And maybe that's motivating, inspiring. But I think a lot of those guys are just like, oh, I did this, but all you got to do is this, and they just like, no, that's not all you have to do. And I don't know,
Right.
and you know, uh, I don't know a whole lot about the guy. I've read one of his books, but have you ever heard of Grant Cardone?
I can't say I have.
Yeah, he wrote a book called The 10X Rule. Um, and he's just super, I don't recommend reading it. It's a waste of your time.
Okay,
Uh,
because normally when I talk to you, I end up with great book recommendations, and it's good to have a not recommendation.
yeah, basically it's like just go hard, whatever you're doing, give it 10 times the effort and you'll be
Oh,
rich.
okay. So you could boil the book down to what a high school lacrosse coach would say.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And
All right.
so that's the impression I get from him anyway. It's just like all you got to do is just work hard and blah 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 and do your thing and he gives you some strategies or whatever, but it's not inspiring in the sense of, those of us who are trying to, come from nothing or not much and then trying to make something of ourselves. It's just not very inspiring. But when you can see the people struggling and still struggling, even though in some sense they have achieved some degree of success, but you see them still like struggling with the next thing they're trying to take on. Like that's inspiring. It's like I don't care if you're making $20,000 a year or 20 million a year. It's if you're still trying to reach that potential that's
Right.
been created, then that's inspiring. It's like, yeah, and you're awkward with the thing, no matter what level you're with. You're experiencing the imposter syndrome, which I think it's normal and appropriate when you're in new territory. Like that's what I'm interested in, and that's